After the third pregnancy, we knew that we weren't going to have any more because of health reasons. So we actually wanted a fourth child, and so we decided to adopt. At that point, babies were not available, and the Department of Welfare asked us if we wanted to foster. So that's how we began.
They made it look like fostering would be mostly short-term, and some of our first ones were, and then we got one young man who was with us for several years, and they asked us then if we'd be interested in adopting him. Over a period of about, 20 years? We've fostered roughly 120 children. Then in the process of those adoptions, the fostering, we adopted 7. Our youngest now is 25. And from all that, three children by birth, 7 by adoption, and 22 grandchildren.
23.
I lose track of that too, don't I?
We have had people say to us as we've been fostering, I could never do that. I have them in my home, I fall in love with them, and I could never give them up. But anytime you take a child in, even if it's for 3 hours, you love them like they're your own, and you give them what they need, and it hurts when they have to leave. But the only way you can take them in is to give them everything they need, which includes your heart. And sometimes a piece of your heart goes with them when they leave.
You always hope that you can send them back to a new, renewed home or something of that nature. That's not always the case. We were at one of our daughter's weddings recently, and one of our former foster sons was there as a part of the wedding group, and so it's neat to see these kids, and they're in their 40s. They're coming back and still saying, but this young man had been with us just a few months, back when he was 4 years old, and he said it's the most influential thing in his life. And you want to cry.
Because you don't think that you have that much impact on a child. But when you get feedback like that as an adult, it really touches your heart, and you know you have done something right with God's grace.
People ask me, what's your financial? Well, I've invested in children. It's a great investment. Portfolio is busting at the seams. I don't know how to say it any other way. And it's neat to hear these kids come back and say, will you pray for me? Will you continue to support me? They're looking for that right on into their adulthood. I remember hearing one time that your children aren't your children until you die. They're your children until they die. And you just turn them over to God, and they're His children to begin with.
Well, I think it's very important to be a part of a church family, first of all. And the more you become involved with a church family and they in your life, they can be a support system. So when you have children come in, they can help you with clothing, any needs that you have that you're not prepared for. That's one of the benefits of having a church family. Another is the emotional support, and they can pray for you. They can offer emotional support when you're feeling down and discouraged, because those days do come.
You need the support of a church family regardless, with any family. And you need the support of the church family when you're adopting, because you need to know that they are with you in this. Children come into the foster care system because there are problems within their family.
One thing for people who have adopted or fostered, obviously that can be 2 totally different things to adopt without going through the foster care system. You have some of the similar issues, but one thing, those who have fostered and don't anymore, they can be a support to those who consider fostering. We have been in that role even while we were fostering. We have been in that role to other couples who have decided to foster. And it's kind of cool because you can be a support to them.
One of the questions that comes up is, what age should we consider? One thing that I would advise people right off the bat is don't consider taking in children older than your oldest. You'd never want to offset or set out the oldest child in the family. They've got their pecking order already established. You don't want to mess with that.
That's a voice of experience talking. We've had the opportunity to share in the orphan care ministry on one occasion, just kind of a question and answer, and then a particular couple, the wife came to me several years ago, maybe 5 or more years, with questions about something she was going through and the painfulness of it, and we were able to cry together, and God has blessed them in special ways. But we can be a shoulder to cry on, share our past experience, that sort of thing.
If you've ever considered fostering and think that it's something you couldn't do, may I assure you, you can't. It's only with God's help that you can truly foster a kid. That it's only with God's help that we can truly raise children under any circumstances and expect any kind of positive return on that. But always remember that you're never alone. God is there.